just in Kyiv as a tourist. I am looking for souvenirs. No! Troopers, untangle my foot from this parachute. The cords are tangling up my cape. And for those of you who do not subscribe, remember, the Emperor is not as forgiving.
Support in our country. Can't be caught standing around doing nothing. All right, men, load your weapons. Can't we move?
Hang this. How's it? Welcome to Mongoose Max, Hawaii.
Here they come again.
The channel. Yep. I think we're on the brink of World War III. Welcome to Cheery WHENevah.
Trooper standing by.
I figured I'd post because then I'd get on the historical pundit. I remember when World War III started and I posted. And a lot of these news outlets are doing that. Also, for example, the headlines today is the infamous, oh my gosh, that's right, invasion with Vladimir Putin on the front, right? Invasion. Now, yeah, save this one. it's like Oahu bombed for Pearl Harbor. This is okay. So I wanted to get into the little bit of a political science kind of analysis, somewhat, a little bit. I mean, I'm sure you got tons of they're over this way and that way and all that kind of thing. Okay. President Joe Cool, Biden, was calling the shots. He's got the intel. So he was predicting, or actually he wasn't even predicting, he was observing with his powers that this is what they're doing. You know, they're surrounding Ukraine. You know, they have this over here. Putin said this and that. And it looks just like what a military does right before an invasion. Putin was right. I mean, Putin was lying. Biden was right. Putin was lying. Putin said, we're just conducting military exercises right outside that border. And now there's two areas. Belarus, the country just to the north, is a little bit more Russian than Ukraine. Ukraine was always trying to be independent. The little corner of Ukraine And then Chimera was given to Ukraine via Gorbachev, trying to be like, let's have peaceful relations. And that's that, whatever, accord that's broken with the Crimea. And then Russia wanted to come and take that back. That was like 2014. And then in that little corner area, there's pro-Russia sympathizers, and now they're backed by Russian military. So when he's making another excuse or cover story, he's saying that I had to invade Ukraine because of those, protecting those Eastern Russians, you know, the ones in the separatists that are backed by the military guys, kind of like, I don't know what this kind of like. The whole thing's kind of like, I mean, they don't want Russia to occupy the place, and we're not going to occupy the place, we're going to demilitarize it. So they're going to come in with their forces and take away your forces, and if you resist, we're going to battle you. And he's also going to punish the people that are anti-Putin. It's not so much anti-Russia, because they're practically Russians themselves. It's anti-Putin. So he's going to punish them criminals and then take away their military, demilitarize them, because he's saying they're full of Nazis. I don't know if they have those neo-Nazi groups so much there. I mean, they got this spattering in Europe, cuckoo heads, you know. It's not like World War II Nazis. No. That's a different story. The what do you call those? Neo-Nazi. They're part of the Matrix. Neo, don't be part of the Matrix. Those ones are just kind of cuckoo heads. I don't know if they got much of that there. But the thing is, that's not the problem. That's not the situation. No. Putin's going in there, finding excuses to just gut the place and put in his people in Kyiv, the capital, and rule Ukraine as a puppet state of Russia. That's what it's going to do. That's his goal. And he's doing it before it becomes a NATO state. Now, I remember people who criticized Putin. I remind you, there was a critic, I didn't know his name, but they followed him. He tried to leave Russia, like defect. And he was in England somewhere at an airport, and somebody came up to him and was like, oh, here's some tea. And he drank the tea, and it had polonium. I think it was polonium, radioactive, not plutonium, but polonium, something highly radioactive. Dropped it in his tea, so when he drank it, there's no cure. He was gonna die in a horrible radioactive poisoning death, and he did. That was a critic. He can't stand the criticism. He can't be told he was wrong, or he can't handle criticism without getting enraged. Narcissist. And right now, this is guy, he's doing it all Machiavellian style, where it's all his way. Narcissist. See, my thing is proven to be true. He's acting like one, for sure, and I think he is one because of his position of power. He's become one. Now, ladies and gentlemen, little mongooses, big mongooses, we're probably in a Cuban Missile Crisis. That's right. Cuban Missile Crisis. I don't know if I should try this. I was trying to make this really short. But we're basically in a Cuban Missile Crisis kind of situation. Now, handle this. If Ukraine was a NATO country, the US would already be actively sending in military. But it's not a NATO country. And Putin doesn't want it to be a NATO country. Now, when we're talking about NATO country, we're thinking stuff like World War III. Okay? Now, with World War III, you have a bunch of countries that are allied and another bunch of countries that are allied. And if you attack one of those countries, these countries come to back it up. Next thing you know, you get a bunch of countries involved. World war. And look at Putin's, Putin is saying, I mean, excuse me, not Putin, yeah, I'm getting Biden, Putin, yeah, mixing me all up. But when you say, when Biden said he'll be held accountable, he said the world will hold him accountable. It's almost like world war and accountability. So if something happens, he's accountable. It's almost kind of world war. World will hold him accountable. See, the rhetoric's already kind of poetically aligning. Not like, I mean, it might be coincidence. That's not prophetic, but it's like kind of poetic is the more the word. It's kind of poetically leaning towards those words. And here we go with Putin. He just can't handle it, but he's also very, very meticulous about being. Oh, time's up. That's it. The end of the world. I mean, video. No. Putin doesn't want Ukraine to be. So what is his motivation? Right? Of course, there's oil and gas and all that kind of stuff, and I'm sure there's tons of resources. Ukraine is huge. In the area right there, though, right above the Black Sea, because he'll have pipelines and he'll have Russia all the way up into Europe, instead of Europe, into Russia. Because if Ukraine joins NATO, then if he messes with Ukraine, then the NATO forces are against him. But right now, he's got a plethora of excuses. We're going to protect those ones in the corner in Donbass, those two little areas in Donbass. We're going to protect those, and Belarus, though, but they got Belarus army and Russian army going down already. These bomb places, you know, the airports, and then they come in. An empty shell by the time they come in. It's like, what if here's a governor or a mayor of a town, any town, and some mobster guy comes in, puts a gun to his head and says, we're taking over. He's going to go, okay, here's my desk. That's how Hitler did it to Austria, and now Putin is doing it to Ukraine, right in front of your eyes, right underneath your nose. And he's using the Belarus army too, so he's already got another country on his side. And they're going down a highway which has been improved for travel recently, which is a short 1 hour distance from the capital, Kyiv. So right now, it's down to the Kyiv highway to hell. Highway to Kyiv. And that's the scoop. If it gets a little bit... Right now, Biden's not going to do anything. The U.S. isn't involved technically with its military. But it gets a little bigger. It's like how the expansion of the actual Nazis in World War II, well, before World War II starts. It's the expansion. They get away with it for a little while, and then people just like forget it. Boom. And then they join in. So this is a precursor, or you could say the very start of World War III, or something this is really bad. So, have a good day. Just thought I'd pop in with a whenever, just so I could jump in on this historic day of highway to World War III. Have a good one. Aloha. Don't worry. Clean water, clean air. Breathe deep. Fresh aloha. Everything's fine, everything's wonderful, Tweety birdies. Unicorns in my dream. Oh, look, a rainbow. Everything's good. Aloha, go away.